Hi guys, bonjour, this is Romy. Welcome for this new video dedicated to helping you make a great wedding on a budget. Today is part 3 of our wedding dress tutorial inspired by Meghan Markle. We are going to cut and sew the lining and we'll start to attach it to the dress. If you haven't seen the previous parts yet, the dress that we're creating is a simplified version of Meghan's design, as it's meant to be beginners friendly, budget friendly, busy schedule friendly and dance floor friendly. But we are trying to keep the spirit of the simple yet sophisticated dress designed by Clare Waight Keller for the House of Givenchy. For the lining, I picked a soft and very lightweight cotton that will make the dress a pleasure to wear. You can also use this type of lining for more opacity, but be aware that synthetic fabrics have a tendency to make the skin sweat. We have washed, ironed and folded in half our fabric, and now we are going to place the pattern pieces for the bust on top of it. You can see that the front is placed on top of the fabric fold with about 2 to 3 millimeters for ease. I pin it in place as well as the back piece. The first thing that we need to do is mark the location of our darts. You can use several techniques, but today we will do like tailors and make a few narrow but loose stitches at the tip of the darts as well as at the base on the waistline. Be careful to catch both layers at once, and if you want, you can cut the thread between each marks. I'm cutting here and starting a new mark at the base of my dart. Cutting again and doing another mark. I'm making sure that I catch both layers, that's really important. When it's done, I'm going to cut directly my fabric at about 1 centimeter, which is my usual seam allowance, plus 2 to 3 millimeters for ease. I'm used to eyeball it, and we are sure of our pattern since we made the dress already. Therefore, I will not trace the pattern on my fabric, but take the time to do so if necessary. You can use a textile pen, carbon paper, or thread and needle like we did in the first episode. So this is up to you. Alright, now let's get rid of the pins and start basting the darts. This is the back pieces, and now I unpin the front and I unfold it slowly, and I'm going to shake a little the marks that we made for the darts. This way the stitches loosen up a bit and we'll be able to cut the thread between both layers, without cutting the fabric of course. A little bit of our thread will remain on both sides and we'll use it as a guide to form the darts. It's not easy to describe, but I think you can see enough on the screen to understand how it works. A little bit of shaking, I cut in the middle, and now I place the marks on top of each other and create my dart. You can secure that in place before quickly basting the shape of your dart. Use a contrasting thread and if needed, trace the shape with tailor chalk beforehand, and that will make the process much easier if you're not used to it. My darts are ready. I can unfold the front and place both back pieces on top of it, right sides together. Make sure that they are well aligned at the side seams and pin them in place. We are going to stitch them directly with the sewing machine. If you wonder why I'm not basting and trying my garment on first, the reason is that we already done so with the dress and we have made all the necessary modifications on our pattern. But to be extra sure, please go ahead and make a quick fitting if needed. I try to make a little rounded shape at the tip of a dart to smooth the line in and make a beautiful round bust shape. We are now going to do exactly the same for the other dart. And when it's done, first we need to get rid of the basting. Then we need to cut the excess fabric at about 5 millimeters from the seam. And finally, a little ironing fun. And voila, our bust is ready. We have seen in the previous part of our tutorial how to cut a 3/4 circle skirt into 8 gauze. You can repeat the exact same process for our lining, or like me, cut it into 5 gauze only, as I have a little bit more fabric available. When it's done, I place the pieces on the fabric and cut around them at about 1 centimeter, except for the bottom that doesn't need any sewing allowance, since it was already integrated within our pattern calculations. Now we're going to sew the pieces, and to do that we place them right sides together like we did in the previous episode, and in the right order, so don't forget to number your pieces when you cut them. And once again, since we have done it already with the dress, we know our pattern and we will not need to baste it, we just will pin it and sew it or serge it directly. Here is the final skirt lining. By the way, don't forget to iron it. I quickly pinned it to the dress form for you to have a look. Now it's time to attach the skirt to the bodice. While pinning both pieces together, be careful that every seams are beautifully aligned. When you are done pinning all around your waist, you can go ahead and baste the pieces together. I highly recommend basting when seams alignment are involved. Then remove the pins and serge or sew everything in place. Now we will see how to attach the lining to the dress. First, place your dress inside out on your dress form, or on the future bride if she's available, or on a big pillow if you don't own any dress form. It won't be as easy, but that's doable indeed, so don't give up, we are almost there. I'm going to roughly and quickly pin the lining to the dress, making sure that every seams are aligned, and then, bit by bit, we'll make it more precise. On the back, fold the fabric and pin it to the zipper, but not too close, that would prevent the zipper to open and close properly. Also, when pinning, be careful not to catch the fabric of the dress form, we wouldn't be able to remove the dress. We are going to do the same on the other side, caressing and smoothing the fabric on the dress form or on the pillow to avoid creases and wrinkles, but don't pull at the fabric too much, the body needs to move and breathe with ease. Using the same technique, we'll continue pinning the zipper down until we reach the point where we stopped sewing the zipper to the dress. Just have a look at the previous episode if you don't remember that. Now, in the next episode, I'll show you how to do a beautiful finish at the bottom of our zipper. Now let's pin more accurately the lining at the waist, making sure that both seams are impeccably aligned and making sure not to grab the dress form fabric or the skin of your future bride for that matter. Then it's time to work on the armholes. The technique is the same. I roughly and quickly pin fins in place at first. And then I go back and create a perfect and smooth round shape. Be very generous and use a lot of pins. It will be easier to sew everything when you remove the dress from the dress form. Fold the fabric, align it to the seam. I pin it first time up, and then I go back and really make adjustment to have beautiful shape. For the neckline, it's pretty straightforward. Baste the lining in place following the neckline tracing. I'm trying to sew straight, but I have the camera in front of me, so please do a better job than me. Then I'll show you how to do the same on the back, taking into account the zipper. So open the zipper, get rid of the first pin, fold the zipper on the side and do a few stitches to hold it in place. Don't grab the main fabric of the dress while doing so, and use a white thread since it will not be removed. I cut everything and then I pin the lining back in place. Then you can go on with basting the neckline. Just repeat that on the other side and you are ready to undress your bride or your dress form and to bring your garment to the table. Congratulations on making it so far. I'm so proud of you and of me, and I hope you're excited to see the next and final part of this tutorial in which we'll sew the lining to the dress. We'll finish off everything that needs to be hemmed or polished, and I'll show you how to make a gorgeous neckline finish. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a little bonjour in the comments, share this tutorial with your friends, subscribe to the channel and join me on Instagram, as I'm always thrilled to connect with sewing lovers all around the world. Bye bye! À bientôt!